What is the fastest way to become a paid professional speaker? Speak at association. That is where you start. You start your speaking, your paid professional speaking career and unpaid. You can also do this for free speaking engagements for lead gen, right? But you start by speaking at associations if you are wanting to build a career as a paid professional speaker. Why? Because a few reasons. So first of all, think about it. Associations bring people together who all work for different companies. So associations exist entirely for the purpose of having meetings. That is why they exist. It is for the purpose of best practices and networking and creating community among a profession. So associations exist like solely to have meetings, to create encounters with people who are from different companies but are inside of the same industry. Anytime you have meetings, you need speakers. So that's the second reason why, is in order to incentivize these people to come together collectively, one of the best ways to do that is to provide education that will benefit all of them, which means they need speakers. They need educators. They need people who can add content to their program, to their lineup, to create and enhance the value of that meeting, which is necessary and essential in getting people to even show up for the meeting in the first place. Desperate for speakers. They're dependent on speakers. That's very different from a company, right? Like a company, people are all there gathered every day in the same place anyways. They may or may not have a meeting. And if they're having a rough year financially, one of the first things they'd probably cut is a meeting. But associations can't cut the meeting. Like that is the association, is getting people together, and they got to have speakers. So that's the second reason why they are great. The third reason why associations are great and why you should target speaking at associations first is because they typically don't have a lot of money. Now, I know that might seem weird. You might say, okay, well, why would I go speak at associations if they don't have any money? Well, first of all, they do have money, but they don't always have a lot of money. And you may not get your, the fee that you want to have one day. But the reason why it's a good thing is it's less competitive. The higher paid speakers who are typically more established, who are world renowned, the whatever, best-selling authors, the people with lots of notoriety or followers or high profile executives, etc. So it's a great place to get started. So that's the third great reason to speak at associations. The fourth great reason to speak at associations is because you are in front of a lot of potential prospects. I never get more spinoff opportunities than when I speak in front of an association. Why? Because every person in the audience is from a different company. They're from a different location. They're from a different organization, which means all of them are potential people who could hire you. Compared to when you speak at a company, right? All of those employees work for the same company. So it's less likely that somebody there is going to say, hey, come, let me hire you to speak for this other company, because they all work at the same company. And then the fifth reason to speak at associations is because they are easy to find. You can just go search association in any industry and they're not that hard to find. But in general, associations are easy to find. All you have to do is ask people, are you a part of any associations? And people who are professionals will say, yeah, I'm in this association, that association. You can Google it. There's directories of them. Like they're trying to be found. So they're easier to be found. So those are great reasons why to speak at associations. 5 great ones. Okay. So that is where you want to start. It is the fastest way to get traction. Now, you might have to speak for free early on. And in general, that's something we believe in when you're starting out, is you speak for free until you generate enough demand in the marketplace to speak for a fee. All right. The second tip, you want to learn to work in both horizontals and verticals. What are horizontals and verticals? Okay. Horizontals applies to the divisions inside of one company, and verticals applies to the other companies that are in the same industry. So let me give an example. Horizontals is if I get booked to speak at a huge organization. I'll give you a good example. One of our best speaking clients of all time. I got booked to speak at this Mass Mutual organization for a gentleman named Michael Book. And so we spoke for his team inside of Mass Mutual, but that was just one team inside of Mass Mutual. So then what we did, and when I say we, this was really like AJ and her team, she then went horizontal and said, what are all the other divisions that MassMutual has? And big companies have many divisions, right? Like they might have, there's an HR annual conference, there's a customer service, there's a sales conference, there's a leadership executive meeting, there might be incentive trips. Like big companies have not just one meeting a year, they have lots and lots of meetings across lots of departments or divisions. That's working horizontally. I spoke at this one event for this organization. Let me work laterally in what other departments or divisions does this company have meetings. You can immediately start doing this and you'll get way more traction faster because they're all going to know each other. And they're going to say, oh, Rory did a great job for our HR conference. You guys should look at him for your customer service meeting. Boom. Now I'm in, right? Even if they don't know each other inside of a large company, it's so much credibility to be in that organization. Working vertically is working inside of an industry. So that would be like, okay, let's say I spoke at MassMutual, then I would say, okay, that's a financial institution. Then I would say, what other financial institutions could I speak at, right? Northwestern Mutual, I could go to speak to all the different insurance companies because I'm going to get to know that industry very well. And even though they don't know the other people at other companies, often they do though, because they meet them at associations. And so you get momentum by working horizontally inside of an organization or working verticals inside of an industry. So those are some really tactical, strategic, like important and, valuable tips that will make an immediate difference in terms of your ability to get your speaking career off the ground, right? I want you to pay attention to those. And then the third tip is you have to ask yourself, what is the story I'm telling myself about myself? If I'm saying, oh, no one's ever going to hire me, I don't have enough credentials, I don't have enough experience, I'm not famous enough, I'm not funny, I'm not good, I don't have charisma, or like whatever those stories are, first of all, just ask yourself, is that story serving you? Like, does that story serve you to tell yourself that? If it doesn't serve you, drop it. Stop saying it. Stop propagating it. Just drop it, right? Like, you don't have to try to lie to yourself. You just drop it and go, that story's not serving me. And then step two, your job is to choose better stories. So you tell yourself, look, you could say, no one will hire me because I'm inexperienced. You also could easily tell yourself an authentic truth, which is the inverse of that, to say, people are going to hire me because I'm a fresh face, which is legitimately true. Like many of our longest standing speaking clients are always bringing things to me and they're going like, hey, do you have any fresh faces? Like, because, some of us speakers been around for a while. And so they get to kind of, people have seen them and they're like, we're looking for some fresh faces. So your job is to choose better stories. And then you need to reinstall and repeat the new story. So drop the old story, choose a new story, and then reinforce or repeat that new story over and over and over. And you say, you know what? I'm a deal, right? That was something that I used to tell people. And it's like, hey, it's a deal. I still feel that way about myself. I'm going, hey, in a few years, my speaking fee is going to be outrageous. Like, this is the best time ever to hire Rory Vaden because my fee is only going up. Like, I'm on sale. Like, this is the best time. And that is true. Like, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're one of our members, if you're doing the things we're teaching you, your fee is going up for certain. Like, there is no question about whether or not the stuff we teach works. It 100% works. If you follow it, it's guaranteed to work. The question is how fast and just, when and how fast, but you're on sale, right? Like, I'm on sale. I am the cheapest. It is the cheapest to work with me right now, either to hire me as a speaker or to hire me as a personal strategist. So it's the best time ever to hire you. You are on sale right now. So those are a couple ideas to help you, those of you that are interested in a paid professional speaking career, but they also apply even if you're not interested in professional speaking, but just going out and speaking to drive more leads to your business and to your personal brand, which is a huge part of what our audience does. It'll change your business. Getting out there and being in front of people and speaking and just giving them a sample of what you do, it'll change your business. So that's what I got for you today. Thanks for being here. Share this episode. Who do you know that you think, they should be a speaker or they want to be a speaker? Share this episode with them and be like, hey, you need to tune into this because I think it'll help. As always, we love you. We'll catch you next time.